streamed. I should tell you that today, hi Shane.
Hi.
Today we were supposed to have Maia, my dear friend Maia Ganatra with us, but unfortunately she got a sore throat, the poor girl, and now her voice has totally gone off. So the kind gentleman that he is, Mike Kerins, has stepped up to replace our girl. So hopefully he will be with us soon. Just got a text that he's trying to get in. Let's see if he makes it. Okay, he's going to close it and reopen it, and hopefully he'll be with us in a few minutes. So in the meantime, while we're waiting, oh, that's a lovely sky above you, Bob. Bob, would you like to tell us where you are in this wide world?
I'm in the Rio Grande Valley of New Mexico.
Whoa.
And
it's early afternoon there?
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
It's about 45 degrees out here in the back porch. And it's a beautiful day.
25 degrees Celsius, you're counting Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, Fahrenheit. I don't know what that means.
There's even a little snow on the mountains.
And Louis, how is it where you are? What's the weather like?
Dark.
It's dark, yeah, of course, because of the time. But do you have nice weather? Is it raining? Not raining. Cool. Okay, well, I should tell you that here in Greece, it's just now barely starting to show a little autumn. It's been horribly hot up until a few days ago. It was like, I don't know if you can count in Celsius, Bob. It was like 22 degrees Celsius, like early summer, let's say. If you remember Marrakesh, it was hotter here than the time we had there in February. But okay, now it's a little bit chillier and we get a little rain and the like, and it's nice and cozy because it's a good weather for stories. And you, Louis, do you carry on going swimming? You do. You know, Bob, Louis is...
Yes, I do.
Half a person, half a fish. Every... Oh.
That's great.
I can't pick it up now, Michael. Michael has been calling me. Let's see if I can get him here. Just... make sure that he has the right address to enter. Let's see. Come on, Michael, you've done it before. Okay. Give me a second, please, guys. I'm trying to let Michael know. Okay, I think he's seen it. So, Louis, please tell me, do you have any favorite autumn tales? Is there anyone you really, really like that has to do with autumn this time of the year? Think carefully now. You have heard a lot of stories. here comes Michael. Louis, if you think of one, let us know, please. Okay, we've got our star of the night here. So let me do my John Rowe impersonation for a minute. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and assembled company. Tonight we have Michael Kerins with us to enchant us with his lovely tales. So Michael, we're glad to have you here with us finally, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And just to show you that the floor is mine, I'll show you my floor.
Let's see Michael's floor. Oh, wow, he's got a red floor, Louis.
It's red. Hi, Louis. Maybe hi, Shane. I don't know if that's you or just your furniture. Hi, Bob. Hi, Storytelling Cafe. And most of all, hi, and thank you very much to Despina. So Maya's not well, so we're going to say get well to her and get well also to Amy Douglas, who's also under the weather. I'm not under the weather. I'm tip-top. And the story I'm going to tell you is a story that I heard first from Margaret MacDonald Reid in Jamaica many, many, many years ago. And it's in her book called 5 Minute Tales. However, it takes me longer than 5 minutes to tell it. Maybe even a lot longer than 5 minutes to tell it. Once there was a man who, well, he was just great, except he had the most rubbish job, the most awful job you can imagine. His brain was smart, his looks were fine, his hair was long, but he was dirty and always cold because he had a horrible job and he worked at the very lowest level in the palace. His job was, I'm going to hold my nose for this bit, cleaning the toilets. His job was to clean the toilets, both the human toilets and the animal toilets. And well, people who do these jobs, they never smell well, and they never dress well, and nobody ever listens to them. If they ask, excuse me, can I have, well, nobody listens. However, people listen if you don't talk to them, but you talk near them. And he would go walking past like this, or walking past like that, this way and that way. And one time he said, I think I'm going to teach the king's horse to talk. Well, like I told you, nobody listened. Not on Monday, nobody listened. Tuesday, nobody listened. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nobody listened. At the weekend, nobody listened. On Sunday in church, well, he was sitting at the very back because nobody will sit near him. He even said it out loud. I think I'd like to teach the king's horse to talk. And just as luck would have it, somebody heard this. And they said, can you teach horses to talk? And he didn't say yes, and he didn't say no. He just said with his shoulders and with his thumbs. Now, the man that heard him told his wife, and his wife had a sister, and the sister worked in the palace, high up, not at the toilets level, not at the kitchen level, but the level above that. And she said to her sister, there's a guy who works at the palace. He's very dirty and very smelly. He's a fine-looking man with long hair, but he's always grubby and dirty. He's going to teach the king's horse to talk. Now, people listen to women like that because they have no option but to listen to women like that, because all they do is ever talking, talking. And it happened that the news traveled further up the hierarchy to the next level and the next level until it came into the advisors to the king level. Kind of job you would have, Louis, if you weren't actually the king. And so the man said, well, okay, bring this guy here. But the advisor had advisors, and the advisors who advised the advisor said, my advice is don't bring him here because he's so dirty. Then clean him, then wash him, then scrub him, and then get him in some kind of ship shape and bring him here. So they got him into some kind of ship shape and they brought him there. Well, he was in smart clothes, and he said to the king, now the king had on a beautiful shawl like this. It was magnificent. And he had it over his shoulders, and there was fur on it, and there were jewels sewn into it. And the king said, what do we have today, to the advisor? And the advisor said, oh, Majesty, we have a man who's going to teach your horse to talk. And the king twirled his moustache and thought that was a good idea. Bring him forth then, bring him here. Bring him to this very space. And the newly scrubbed up toilet cleaner was brought in front of the king, and he was put there and said, well, said the king, what is it? What are you going to do? What do you want? I said, Majesty, I don't want anything. Actually, and he put his hand on his heart and said, I don't want anything at all. But then why are you here? Asked the king, and the man was rather bold when he said, I didn't ask to come here. You sent for me. You had me scrubbed up. Why is this man here? Said the king. And the advisors, and the advisor and the prime minister and a couple of ambassadors said, oh, he's going to teach your horse to talk. Oh, can you do this? Said the king. Well, yes, Majesty, but there are conditions. The king stood up. He was a big, powerful man, and he said, conditions? You dare to give me, the king, conditions? I should have you arrested. I should have you flogged. I should have you beaten. I should have you starved and punished, and put in the stocks, and people can throw rotten fruit at you. How dare? Majesty, please, Majesty, I don't give any conditions. Just that there are conditions. What conditions can there be? Well, Majesty, it's as simple as this. There are 3 conditions, okay? The first condition is you should pick the horse. Why should I pick the horse? Well, Majesty, if I pick the horse, people like Jim or Shane will say there's jiggery-pokery. They'll say there's stuff going on. They'll say, aha, there was a trick. But Majesty, if you pick the horse, then nobody can say there's any jiggery-pokery or any skullduggery or any tricks. Oh, no, Majesty. I don't know, but I imagine that's the reason why you must pick the horse. And you should pay money. Oh, well, said the king, that's easy. I have money. A gold coin a week. 1 gold coin every Thursday. Is this a Thursday? Yeah, this is a Thursday. It was a Thursday. At 1 o'clock, you should pay 1 gold coin. Well, I have plenty of money, said the king. I have loads of money. Hi, Marion. Well, he said, that's interesting then. I'll give this 1 gold coin a week. And it takes time. Sure, said the king. It takes, let's say, 9 years. 9 years? Nine, he said the word nine times. 9 years, said the king. 9 years? Majesty, may I look out of the window? Yeah, sure, it said. I look from the north window. I look to the north, to the lands of your cousin, who is a king, King Norman of the North. Majesty, may I ask, does he have a talking horse? He doesn't. And what about King Simon of the South, the king of the islands near? Oh, he doesn't have a talking horse. He doesn't have a talking horse. Probably didn't fill the conditions. And he looked to the east, to the lands with the great wheat, huge wheat farms there. Plenty of grass for a horse to eat. But he doesn't have a talking horse. King Edward of the East doesn't have a talking horse. And Waldemar in the West, I think he is some cousin on your mother's side, if I'm not mistaken. No talking horse, not the talking horse. So these 4 kings who surround us, your kinsmen, your cousins, your brother kings, I'm going to suggest that they haven't fulfilled the conditions. Either they don't like being told what to do, they don't like to spend money, or they don't have patience. But Majesty, what do I know? Well, the king stood up and said, bring me 1 gold coin and make it an old one. And an old gold coin was brought out. Now, the king's head wasn't on this. The coin was so old it wasn't his father's head that was on it. The coin was so very old that it wasn't his grandfather's head that was on it. It was the king's great-grandfather's head that was on this coin. And it was brought there. And the king gave the man the gold coin. And the 2 of them, just the king and just the man who worked in the toilets, went to the royal stables. And there were a lot of horses there. And honestly, friends, I can tell you this, any one of these horses would have been good enough. Eventually, the king picked a 5-year-old mare. She was beautiful, chestnut brown, fine haunches, beautiful fetlocks, wonderful mane. Not unlike Shane Ibbs's mane, actually. Glorious tail. Not like the one I'm telling you. It was lovely. It was a magnificent horse. Yeah, this is the one, Majesty. I think you've made a good choice. Every Thursday, I'll come here and I'll give you a report. And you'll know how this horse is doing. So he climbed on the horse and he rode out of the royal stables with the promise to come back to the king the next Thursday around 1 o'clock to tell him the good news. And that's what he did. But he didn't go home. He went into the town. And there he got off his horse, the king's horse, tied it up, and went into a shop and bought some beautiful clothes, breeches, wonderful breeches made of leather. They were kind of a dark brown colour, not unlike the colour of the horse. He got a red velvet jacket And with the jacket, he got the most wonderful hat, better than any hat Jim Cassane could ever imagine. A big, broad brim. And then on this hat, there was a fantastic feather that went like this. Yee-haw! The feather was huge. The feather flopped about. And he gave over the gold coin, and he was given credit, and he was given tea. And they spoke to him. And he said that he was a guardian for the king, that he was a special advisor on, he called it a mission. And that was that. And then, after all this shopping was done, oh, boots. He needed boots. He got knee-high boots. Also leather. Well, these were not brown. These were kind of a dark black colour. Anthracite, I think the fashionistas call it there nowadays. And with these anthracite black boots, with the brown breeches, with the red jacket, with the big red hat, and the father that shouted, "Yee-haw!" He went home. And he called, "Wife, wife, this is marvellous. Come and see what great fortune has befallen us." And the wife heard her husband's voice and ran out. But he wasn't there. "I'm not there," he said. "I'm up here." And she looked up and saw a handsome stranger on a fine horse, a man in elegant clothes, a man with a big hat and a feather that shouted, "Yee-haw!" And she was taken by him. "Sir, have you seen my husband?" "I am he," said the man. And he jumped off the horse and tied it up. And he went, took his wife's arm and went into the house. And on the way there, he said that he now had a royal appointment, a marvellous job, to teach the king's horse to talk. She was awestruck. She was dumbstruck. She was struck. "Husband, husband, husband, teach the king's horse to talk. Are you a magician, a sorcerer? Are you some kind of scoundrel? Can you do such things?" "Wife," he said, "we have a good situation. I have a royal appointment, a gold coin a week for 9 years. "Husband, can you teach horses to talk?" "Stupid woman. Nobody can teach horses to talk." She only had one word in the sentence. It was then. Then eventually the sentence finished. Then what happens? Well, a lot can happen in 9 years. In 9 years, the king may die. In 9 years, I may die. But let me tell you this, darling wife, if in 9 years the king doesn't die and I don't die, then the horse surely will. Do you want to all switch on your microphones just for this wee bit? Louis, switch on your microphone.
Yeah.
Darling boy. My mic is not working. Well, this is what mic is working bloody hard, let me tell you. Right, Sir Louis, I'm going to do this, and you're going to tell me how big the yee-haw feather was. The feather was yee-haw. Can you show me? Jim, can you show me? Bob,
I don't
can
think
you
we
show
have a
me?
date here.
Bob, can you show me? But I need you to do a big yee-haw voice like this. Yee-haw! This is pretty big. Despina?
Hee-haw!
Oh, much bigger than that. Shane, you can mime it. Yeah. Louis, how big was this feather? That's the winner! That's the winner, Louis. You won it. You won it. You won it. I wish there was a prize I could give you right through this phone like this. Marvelous. Cool. Once there was a village, and in that village there were two shops, and a wooden wall separated them. One shop was a baker's, and the baker had a big fat tummy like this. And on the other side of the wall, there was a pharmacy. And the pharmacy man, well, he was built like this. He was as skinny as a pencil. And the pharmacist had, well, what we would call an easy life. An easy life. An easy life. He didn't have to do anything until a customer came. And when the customer came, he said, I got gutache, I got toothache, I got headache, I've been stung by a bee, I got something wrong with my bum. Can you help me? And the pharmacist would make up a potion, or a tablet, or a cream, or a cold compress. That was a pretty easy way to make money. On the other side of this wooden fence, this wooden wall, the baker, all he seemed to do was work. He had to, the day before the day of the work, he had to prepare the yeast and the flour and clean the pans and set the ovens ready to be lit very early in the morning at maybe 5:30 to bring the temperatures up. And then he had to make everything that was for sale that day because his stuff won't keep. And that's what he did. That was all he did, was work and work and work. They both had good jobs. They both had good businesses. They both earned a reasonable living. But the baker, he was at it. Morning, noon, and night. And people weren't fed on Sundays. And people weren't fed on Saturdays. And people weren't fed on any day of the week. But the pharmacist, well, he would close on a Saturday lunchtime and never be there on a Sunday working. The shop was closed until Monday morning at 9 o'clock. That's what happened. That was the life. But part of that life included the pharmacist not going home. He had a nice house, but he stayed in that shop. And he opened a little drawer in the back shop. There was a little desk. And he took a small brown leather purse from that drawer. And in that purse, there were 28 golden coins. And the golden coins were his friends, for he was a miser. And he spoke to these coins with great affection, with love, commitment. He trusted them. They were inanimate objects that were just things, but he spoke to them as one would speak to any dear friend. And he brought it up and he held it on one side and then the other side. There was a coin there from Greece, from the ancient times. A coin there that's older than Despina's 2 jokes. There was coins from China, round coins with square holes in them that used to be put into adding machines in the before times. There was a coin there from France. Well, actually, there were two of them with the same king, and they were struck 70 years apart. The boy king and the pensioner grandfather king, Louis. There was coins there from Rome. There was coins there from ancient Rome at the time of the Caesars. There was coins there from Rome and contemporary Rome with the face of the Pope on it. There was coins from Scotland, where I live. There's coins from England, where Louis lives and Shane lives. There was gold coins there, one of them from the Americas, where Bob lives. And these were all his friends. And he had a little party for them. Sometimes he had a little wine and cheese, grapes and bread. Other times it was just water and fruit. But it didn't matter because they were just all, it was about being together. He loved the coins and the coins loved him. And when he was finished, he put the coins back in the bag, one at a time. Rome, ancient, Rome, modern, China, Greece, and so on, and pulled the bag shut, put it in the drawer, closed the drawer. And hours after he left after the shop was closed, he went home. That was it. The baker on this side of the wooden wall was just working. But then he started to wonder, what's he up to in there? What's he doing in there? He's not making up any potions or lotions or creams, no lozenges, no tinctures. What's he doing? And the curiosity got the better of him, and he got a little device, let's call it, a little thing, a little screwdrivery thing, and he bored a hole and bored a hole and bored a hole until he could see right inside the back shop. And there he saw it. The desk drawer being opened, the little drawstring purse coming out, and the coins. Oh my God, the coins were just wonderful. They were so elegant, so beautiful. And the baker had work to do, but he was hypnotized by this, and hypnotized more than this by the story and the nicknames that these coins had. And every time the coin of Mary Queen of Scots came out, he would always make the same little joke. You'll soon lose your head. And he loved those coins. And the baker, well, he didn't love them, but he lusted for them and he wanted them. And instead of doing his work properly, he spent a lot of time peeping through there, listening, watching, and in his heart, wanting, desperately wanting these coins. To have these coins. I have to have these coins. I have to have these coins, he said. Oh, I have to have these coins. He lay in bed and he could relive these coins. He knew everything, every detail of them. He watched them for months, more than a year, I would reckon. But how to get them? Well, the wooden wall is just one plank of wood thick, and there's a hole already in it, and he can just smash this. But that'll be a disaster, because all the splinters and cracks will appear, and it will be known that he was the thief. So one day, it was a Thursday, probably it was a Thursday. My stories often happen on Thursdays. That's just today. It could be any day. And he ran out of the shop and he shouted, Help, help, I've been robbed, I've been robbed, help, I've been robbed, help me, I've been robbed. And up came the policeman and other people. And two women of a certain age said, young people of the day, that's what they do. They rob from the workers. They rob from the man who's trying to make a decent living. And the policeman said, move along. I need to find out about this robbery. And he was taken into the shop, and the shop was marked closed. The sign was flicked over, closed. What's happened? Said the policeman. He said, oh, officer, come into the back. And he gave him some fresh bread and some cake. And he said, here's some tea. I've got a purse. Sorry, I don't have it anymore. I don't have the purse. It's brown leather, a little drawstring purse. You open the purse like this and take these coins out. And there are 28 of them. And the baker was able to give an accurate description of all 28 coins. The country of origin, the person that was on them, the design, some dates, 70 years apart between the two Louis, just like our King Louis here. All of these folk were described. The coins were described as though they were actually real people. So there you go. What do you think of that? And the policeman said, well, do you have any idea who would do such thing? Is there a window broken? Is the back door secure? Did somebody come in with a gun or a knife? No, officer. Let me tell you that the back door is secure. Look, it's locked and bolted. There's a big wooden bar across it. I only open that door for deliveries, and that's just probably once a week or twice a week at most at busy times. But no. And then he made a discovery. Ha! Look, he said, there's a little hole in the wall. Somebody, and he pointed to the pharmacist shop, somebody has been spying. Just saying, somebody has been spying. What do you think of that? And the policeman looked and saw. And this was not a fresh hole. This hole was more than a year old. This wood wasn't raw. It had matured and settled. Well, he said, I've got some inquiries to do. And he went down the full length of the shop, pinged the little bell on the door, in, left, and left again, and into the pharmacist, and pinged the door bell there. Ping, 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 ping. The pharmacist was in the back shop. He heard the hullabaloo, but it was none of his business. And he shouted. He didn't know who the customer was. He said, I'll be right there, just a moment. And out he came. And he had a little kind of shade over his eyes. And he said, officer, how are you doing? Hangover? Toothache? A nasty rash? No, said the policeman. I'm not here as a customer. I'm here investigating a robbery. And he took out his notepad and he started to ask questions about the 28 gold coins, about the brown leather drawstring purse, and so on and so forth. Do you know anything about this? I said, well, yes, sure, I have it. You have it? You admit it? Yes, officer, I'm a miser. Oh, for the past 28 years, I've bought a a golden coin every year. If I have enough profit, I buy a golden coin and add it to my collection of my dear friends. Come here, I'll show you. And he took him into the back shop, and there on the little desk and this little table, there was a drawer, and he pulled it out, and there was the bag of coins. There you go. But these belong to the baker next door. No, said no, he said. Well, yes, indeed they do. Well, I don't understand it. Well, they are now property of the court. I'm taking them and I'm going to give them to the judge to decide. And that was that. When it was time for the judge to decide, the judge had a terrific problem, a huge quandary. A liar, a cheat, a scoundrel, a rogue, and a thief is saying that these are his. And an honest man says they are his. And the judge has to decide. And the judge was there, and on his head he had his legal wig like this, and the department of blah, 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 the way judges talk, blah, 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 blah. And the judge spoke. And he said, I am completely at a loss here. I don't know what to do. Well, he said, I think we'll have a break. I'm going to sit in the park and think about this. A liar is telling a lie, and an honest man is telling the truth. And frankly speaking, I have no idea which is which. It's up to you. So the court was adjourned. And the judge took his lunch out into the park, and he sat there. His wig was off, obviously. He's in the park. And he was watching some children playing, and he was eating his lunch, and some of the bread of the sandwiches of the lunch, he would scatter like this. And little birds, tiny little birds, smaller than sparrows, came, and they pecked and nibbled at these delicious little pieces of food. Lovely, so tasty. And then he saw a little boy sitting on his own, and the boy's eyes were broken. He was a bit, he wasn't absolutely blind, but he certainly was, let's call him blind. And he wasn't playing with the other children. And the judge said, why aren't you playing with these other boys? He said, well, they're playing a football game, and I'm too blind to see the ball, and nobody wants me in their team, and I don't play football because, well, I can run and I can kick, but I just can't see. Why aren't you at work? Said the little boy to the judge. He said, well, I am at work. I'm a judge in the court, and I'm here to think through this case. And he told the boy of the case, and he said, well, that's easy. I can figure that out straight away. That's no problem at all. Not a problem at all. And he told him the answer. Oh, the judge was awestruck. You really think this? You think this will work? Absolutely. Then come with me, and we'll see what we will see. And the little boy, who was visually impaired, said, well, I won't see very much, but let me tell you something. I'm going to show you what's what. And the big judge and the little judge went to the court. The judge was gowned up. He put on his wig. He put on all his traps of office, and everything was set in place. And then he said, well, give this... my assistant, he said, give my assistant everything he needs. And he said he needs 4 vessels of water, 4 jugs of water, each at a different temperature: cold, warm, hot, boiling. Cold water, hot water, warm water, hot water, and boiling. And each of them should be put on the floor in the court. And then he said, what next? And the little judge said, put 7 coins in each box, into each container. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And each was plopped in for a day of the week. And again, with the warm water, again with the hot water, and again with the boiling water. And then he stood back. And the judge stood back, and the 2 men who were arguing the case stood back, and the policeman stood back. And then he started to smell. And the temperature of the water acted as a catalyst. And all the smells, the aromas, the ancient tinctures, the pharmacy that had been rubbed into these coins for a long, long time started to come up and fill the courtroom. And the little boy and the judge went over to the cold water, and they looked there, and there was no skim of flour or yeast. There was nothing there. And the little judge said to the big judge, you see, you don't need to see evidence to know that it's evidence. You just have to use your brain. And he used his brain. And the little judge made the pronouncement that these have never been touched by the baker, but they've always been the property of the pharmacist. And he was given a great reward. And if I see you another time, well, I might have made up another story about the little judge, but that's the end of Smell That. It's an old pharmacy. I love that smell.
Wow, Michael, what nice stories. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was wonderful.
For popping up and saving the situation, which would have been awkward due to our friend's illness. And thank you for the lovely stories.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. Thank you, guys. Where are you, Bob?
Yeah, thank you so much. I enjoyed both those stories.
Good. Where are you? Where do you live?
I'm in New Mexico.
Gosh.
I'm sitting on my back porch.
Nice.
If I speak, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
we've got a new computer, and I normally listen through headphones, and I couldn't hear at all. And so now I've clicked on all, and you can pick me up through the computer, which we couldn't do before. So I could have contributed earlier. I'm sorry, Michael.
Did you hear the stories?
Oh yes, I could hear them fine.
Great.
Yeah.
So, well, do you want to do a yeehaw now?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeehaw!
Bigger than that. It was a yeehaw!
I've got to watch my. I'll do a deeper yeah. Yeehaw!
Marvelous. That's what you need. That's what you need. So you're in New Mexico. Is that Albuquerque?
It's close to Albuquerque. It's a little town called Corrales, and it's called Corrales.
I'm just showing off that I know something about New Mexico. I've been in that part of the world in as much as I've been in Arizona and California, kind of in real America as well as pretend America. So that was nice. I liked it there.
Well, come again.
Good to see you, Bob, and hear your voice.
I'm too blue.
Likewise, Michael.
I'm too blue.
Yeah, it's very blue, isn't it? Look at that blue in the background there, the sky. We're jealous, Bob.
Wish I could. I don't know if I can show you the mountains or not. Let's see. Today.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit. When I went to Marrakesh in February, it seemed familiar.
Big tall guy.
It seemed familiar in a way with the mountains close by, the Atlas there.
Yeah,
I met you in Marrakesh, Bob. I met you in Marrakesh. Are you very, very tall?
I'm not as tall as I was 6 months ago.
He is, Michael. He's very tall, yes.
Yeah, I met Bob there.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah,
We did.
yeah. I remember that now.
Are you shorter if you take your high-heeled shoes off, Bob?
No, that's that guy in Florida. I guess you're obviously well versed in presidential politics here.
I just wish you guys were.
So before we get into politics, which is
Oh, there's a
Yeah,
pity.
yeah.
Yeah, because this
Let's
is
talk
being
about
recorded.
storytelling.
family-friendly stories, I'd better ring the bell and let people know what's coming up. So for those of you who are here and for our friends who are listening and watching from home, you should know that this Tuesday, coming Tuesday, at 4 p.m. UK time, we have young international tellers. And sometimes we have kids from Gaza telling wonderful stories. Sometimes we have sisters from Nigeria visiting and telling stories. And sometimes we have our lovely Indian princess telling stories, and she's a regular. But even though we do like young people coming there, it's also very important to have adults to encourage them and give them positive feedback so that they carry the tradition on. Other than Tuesday, 4 p.m. UK time, other than that, next Friday, we have the Fridays for Children, of course. But this time, it's going to be some live show from Marrakesh, teller to be confirmed. So there are 5 people there, 5 people in town for an education problem. I've been informed by Mike. Probably one of them, or maybe more, is going to be a surprise, but it's going to be interesting. So do stay tuned. And I don't know, guys, would you like to say your good nights?
Good night, Louis. Good night, Cafe.
Hi, Louis.
Good night,
Have a
Bob.
good swim,
Good night,
Louis.
Shane.
Good
I
night.
feel like I'm in the
Good
Waltons.
to meet you, Bob.
Good
Good to
night,
meet you,
Despina.
Michael. I enjoyed it. Nice to meet you too, Despina.
Hello, is going to be swimming at Oakham swimming pool tonight, guys. Enjoy that, Louis. Good job.
Yeah, Louis swims every week. Lucky Louis.
Brilliant. Yes,
Michael,
definitely.
I love your stories from both of them. It's amazing.
Thank you very much, Louis. You're a lovely
Brilliant.
boy. Right, good
So
night.
good
God
night,
bless you
guys.
all.
Good to see
Bye
you
bye.
all.
See you guys. Bye.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye bye.
Bye.